Hi, my name is Andrea McKenzie, and I wrote the play After Party and was mentored by Annie George.
Thanks for joining us today, Andrea.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell me a bit about your play?
Yeah, I suppose what drove me to write it was kind of two major things. That I'd seen kind of various plays and films about the 90s, and the women were always either the cage dancers as set dressing or the girlfriend bit parts. And believe me, they, as probably a lot of we were there going just as mental as the boys were. So I really wanted to write something about kind of the crazy hedonistic 90s from the girls' perspective. Because yeah, I mean that went back to the ladette culture where people that were 5 foot nothing could drink grown men under the table and then dance the night away. So that was kind of the first half. So the euphoria of the 90s. And then on a much darker tone, it was really the question because of what would drive a mother in today's society to want to harm herself or her child. There's been a few newspaper articles and things like that, and people report it as being kind of unnatural. But actually, when you research it, the same happens in the animal kingdom if animals are highly stressed. And actually, when you look at it, it's a familiar pattern of powerlessness, poverty, and isolation.
Did anything surprise you about the way that the play developed in the last year?
Yeah, I think really it wasn't so much about the play, but I think it was just how universal the themes were. So it's written very much from the perspective of being a single parent, but having spoken to mothers from all different walks of life and all different situations, these same feelings of loneliness and isolation, they're so universal. And again, I don't think people really admit that until somebody else kind of sticks their hand up and be like, oh, that was a really hard time.
And finally, was there like a really good piece of feedback that you got during the process, either like an individual note or advice from a mentor or anything else that you want to share?
I think because the play, it involves these kind of like quite outrageous but gritty characters. My mentor did at one stage like looked at a bit of my dialogue and was like, "Is that just banter?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And she was like, "Well, it needs to be more than banter." And I was like, oh, okay. So I think that's it. It can be banter, but it has to reveal character. It has to have a point.
That's great. Thanks so much for talking to me today.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.